Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What impossible situation do you often fantasize about? That I wake up as a 16-year-old me with the knowledge of current me. This is mine, but I go way further back to like 5 and live out my life as a prodigy, buy Google and Apple stock, know which friends to have and which were a waste. Though I may regret being treated as a child, or maybe I could get away with murder because of it. Hard to say. Edit, first Reddit gold. Thanks stranger. I always imagine I bought Bitcoin in 2008. You need to spend like $50 to be an extremely rich millionaire. Not having to work but still having an income to take care of everything. That's the dream. I too have had these fantasies, u_pm_me_your_hugetits. A man can dream. Having time control abilities. Waiter, enjoy your meal sir. You too. Waiter, you, asterisk time travel. Asterisk. Waiter, enjoy your meal sir. Freeze time and eat. You, what meal? Waiter, it's rewind time. Dio wants to know your location. With time control capabilities, what you do is, freeze time for the 8 to 10 hours that you would have occupied with sleeping and sleep-related activities. Ideally you'd go to bed at 10 p.m., get 10 hours of sleep, and wake up at the same time, 10 p.m. Z. Winning the lottery. Impossible because I have never bought a ticket. Yep, I figure that $200 million lump sum after taxes is what I need to win. Then I can live the exact same life, but people will now say I'm eccentric. I will gladly call you eccentric if you provide me with some ways in which you are eccentric. Post-apocalyptic scenarios where I'm somehow still alive, and what I would do. I'm making plans to be a local warlord. Cannibal warlord with child soldiers to be exact. They'll call me Butt-Eeked II in honor of the original General Butt-Eeked, now known as Joshua. Being able to eat all the food without becoming morbidly obese and dying. I'm on my third imaginary pulled pork right now. Holographic meatloaf. My favorite. Having a limited ability to revert time. Can only go back 12 hours at a time, and once the ability is used you need to wait at least the amount of time you rewound before you can do it again. Basically, you can't chain leap backwards ad infinitum. You could essentially restart the same 12 hours over and over, but once you have let time progress more than 12 hours, that moment will be out of your reach forever. I think about how many times I would loop the same 12 hours before letting time progress, what I would use that extra time for, how I would perhaps slowly turn cold and distant from those around me, seeing them merely as automatos, doomed to repeat the same mannerisms over and over, before I let time naturally run its course again. There are things that can be progressed in these repeated hours and things that cannot. I could read part of a book, for example, and then continue where I left off when I rewind again, but I wouldn't be able to continue playing a game or travel overseas, etc. Because any progress I make towards goals that take longer than 12 hours get wiped the instant I rewind. I would be a lonely observer of a day's many possibilities and potential outcomes, only to settle for one that's good enough once the repetitiveness gets stale. Would I turn into a sociopath? Commit heinous acts because I can just rewind anyway? I'm honestly not sure. I'd like to think not, but it seems like a very possible outcome. Okay, maybe I can get a bit carried away sometimes. This is like safe scumming ill. I like it. You could get very rich just playing the stock market in this scenario. Every day some stock is going to go up at least 10%. If you know the stock in advance and get that return daily, then you multiply all your money by 19x every month. Or just win the lottery once. And you also get fucked up the ass by the SEC by day 30. I have a few. A world where all the people have vanished. Suddenly having the powers of a god and being able to alter reality with a thought. Winning the lottery. Edit, a word. I have a post-apocalyptic one pretty often. The unrealistic part is that I survived in the first place. You know what they say, in a post-apocalyptic world the winners are the ones who die instantly at the start. Getting out from under my career, been in it for almost 30 and have 15 until I can draw, and opening my own ice cream shop. Tell me about this ice cream shop. I, too, am interested. I want more ice cream in my life. I would visit your ice cream shop if you opened one. He lives in the Sahara. winning an argument with an asshole and then everyone proceeding to clap while the asshat does the walk of shame. r/thathappied, but it really happens. So, every made-up social media post. Getting married to the love of my life and having a nice, stable, well-paying job I'm happy with. Life doesn't get easier after you do these things, and all of your problems won't go away. For a long time I never thought I would get married. I was a single mother to 2 young girls and decided to focus on them and my career after leaving an abusive relationship for the last time. 2 years later I met, on Twitter, by complete coincidence, and married, 7 months after meeting, my best friend, who adopted my girls, and we had another kiddo of our own. It's hard to remember that not all that long ago I was committed to being single and wondering why everyone else got to be happy and married and thinking it was just never going to happen for me. Being married to the love of your life comes with challenges. People are not perfect, but our commitment to one another pulls us through the rough life stuff. I spent the first year of our marriage thinking it was going to be a fairy tale, but instead I got a lot of hard work. All that to say, as cliché as it sounds, these things happen when you least expect them. Please don't wish your life away or pine for something you don't currently have. Listen to an old lady when she says you should try and love the season of life that you're in. Even when it seems horrible. You're here. That's the miracle. Big hugs, mon ami. Edited to add, obligatory thanks for the gold and silver, and my inbox is a bit overwhelmed, but I wish I could hug all of you who are struggling. I never had a support system growing up, but you have us, and Tinder. Love the season of life that you're in. That's actually beautiful. Having my life together and not simultaneously failing at everything. Out of the million sperm from your dad and million eggs from your mom, they just happened to make you at the exact right moment. Not to mention that happened for thousands of generations across random encounters of strangers. You're a success story just being alive. Later this evening, take a walk with a super icy bottle of water. It's not so bad, and whatever's bugging you is probably surmountable. Also, your great-great-grandpa is calling you a bitch right now for whining on the internet. You're a success story just being alive. You could also interpret this as you having used all of your luck just for being born and now you're fucked. Also, your great-great-grandpa is calling you a bitch right now for whining on the internet. Not gonna lie, this made me grin. Having superpowers. But like Avatar. It would suck if I had a pointless superpower. You are relegated to shower water beading like the rest of us. Dying and having your mind be merged with someone else's so a part of you lives within them. They will know everything about you and never make the same mistakes you made, and at the same time, you will be seeing through someone else's eyes. I love the idea of it. Sounds like reincarnation with past life memories. Which is to say, lots of people share the same fantasy as you. You're not alone. But you will not be making any decisions for that person. You just observe. Having a job I don't hate and having psychic powers. I'm 30. I'm 41 and I fantasize about having psychic powers all the time. Doing it at 30 is not something that warrants a sad face, that's for sure. Being a Pokemon trainer. The very best. Like no one ever was. Packing a bag, getting into my car, and driving away to some random city or town and just starting over. This has always been a fantasy of mine. Can't escape reality. The grass wouldn't be greener on the other side. We did just that. My wife's job offered her a promotion and relocation in a new state or a layoff if we stayed put. Me moved 850 miles away with 2 weeks' notice and a 2-year-old child. It was the best damn decision I ever made. I got out of the small town rut and started a whole new life. This but changing my name and taking off to Prague to live happily and quietly with my partner and kitty. If you're from a first world rich country it may not be that impossible. Cost of living is hella cheap in Prague, so with some savings you could go a long way. Then find a job there that pay decently, probably not as much as you'd earn in your home country, but that's why you have your savings, and go for it. Immortality and being my video game characters. I'm not even a child anymore. You are, we all are. The world is divided into kids and those who are good at pretending they're not kids anymore. Sex. So I take it there is not a Mrs. Burger Beach Ball. How dare you disrespect Mr. Burger Beach Ball's mother like that? Being able to send my consciousness back to myself in the past, with everything I know now. I'd do so many things differently, avoiding the mistakes, having the experiences I never had, etc. That's exactly what I was coming to post to. So many things I would change. That my car had Mad Max-like weaponry and I was licensed to crush divers who ignore road rules. Being loved and cared for by someone who has genuine feelings for me. Don't we all? Being a sorceress. Like Red Woman kind of sorceress. Yeah. I think being able to push shadow people out of my vagina would be pretty cool.